Yeah, I've just taken my meds, so I decided to do a post, before they kick in, where I start to feel a little bit vulnerable to distortion, so I'll be quick. This is my 100 or 95 US dollar a month or 4 weeks room. It has a window, as you can see. I'll show you that the wall is about 2 feet from the window, but this is luxury. I have a fan and an AC. The shower is pretty ordinary, but there's only cold water, and we have a new cleaning lady, so she didn't clean my shower or bathroom. And this is my bathroom. Shower up there. Costs about between 15 and 30 to $40 for electricity per month, and $10 for water. So I get a pretty good deal. It's definitely not the Hilton, but living on a disability support pension, I can afford to eat out every night. I can afford to purchase my cigarettes and Coca-Cola, and I can even save a bit of money in the meantime as well. So I get it pretty good. I could afford I could afford an apartment, but I wouldn't save as much money. And then you have the responsibility of purchasing linen and cleaning that as well, whereas all that gets done for you here. I don't really know what else to say. Perhaps I'm being a little bit silly, thinking that someone else may find this interesting. But I guess, what I'm trying to endeavour to do is to prove that there is life, with mental illness. And, I guess I have had some concerns about, what my government would think of me living here in Cambodia. I have all the clearances, but in Australia, I couldn't afford. I could afford, but it took up 96 or 7% of my I couldn't save any money at all, and I'd go without Coca-Cola. I'd been, here I am going all over the place again now. I wanted to keep it real brief. If anyone's got the ambition or is stable enough to live in Southeast Asia, Cambodia is an ideal spot. Just as long as you don't go playing games and be respectful to the the locals. One mistake I've made is informing them or being open about my situation, and that is I'm on a pension and that the government pays me. That can create a little bit of jealousy and arouse a bit of ire, but there are things to do, but like I mentioned in my earlier post, I seem to have, withdrawn and isolated myself too much, trying to process some really heavy content, in regards to narcissism and early childhood trauma and things along those lines. And, basically I thought if I could get all that resolved, then I'd be free to live a life of normalcy, in inverted commas, but I looked the other day at someone giving a PowerPoint display in regards to teaching people about mood and affect, and he had some actors acting it out. I can't remember exactly what it mentioned, but I did get the sense that finally, emotionally, I am not as, I don't have the fluidity of that of a regular, normal person. So in my own imagination, I'm vibrant, colourful, affluent, dynamic, but that's my ideal self. That's the one that I created, that I thought would win love, approval and adoration. So I'm, learning to accept myself as a, 47-year-old male with a mental illness. It's poles apart. And I guess over time I'll open up about, the torture I put myself through patronising that ideal self, and and then having to come to terms with mental illness. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you. Ciao.